when the world was young. The gods made dragons the guardians of the sacred order. But evil powers sought to destroy the divine order. They sowed treachery and discord amongst the dragons and throughout the land. Filled with envy and greed, the younger dragons set the world aflame with hatred and war. The elder dragons managed to restore the balance, but they paid a terrible price. In the aftermath of the final battle, the elves deserted their cities to live a life of peace and harmony in the meadows and forests of Aventuria. But the dwarves never forgot the dragon's treachery. The flames of battle still burned strong in their hearts. And the dragons are their mortal enemies. From the ashes of those ancient empires arose the human folk. Their civilization flourished in the wake of the dragon's defeat. They worshipped them as the guardians of the sacred order. But the ancient guardians have long passed from this world, and the peoples of Aventuria are blind to what I have seen. Once more, the forces of evil seek to sow treachery and discord. My strength wanes. But there is still much to be done. Forged in fiery depths, a blade of deadly steel, our heroes to serve and our foes to crush!
Hi everybody and welcome to Let's Play Drakensang. I know basically nothing about this game. I don't know the campaign, I don't know the setting, I don't know the mechanics. I've played lots of pen and paper role-playing games, currently playing Hatmaster 4th edition, but know nothing about Drakensang. I've barely heard of it. I do remember it being released, but I never really took any interest in it. It was also an absolute pain to get to record. I think we're going to be absolutely fine, as long as there's no cutscenes. But I spent about an hour trying to get it to record the game and the cutscenes, and I just couldn't get it to work. I don't think it's going to matter, because I think there's only 2 FMV videos, one of which is here, and one of which is the intro. So hopefully there's not be any issues with the recording, and we'll...
Greetings. I am turning to you in what are now dark times. Much has happened over the past few years. I have become embroiled in matters that can now scarcely be untangled. In order to achieve this, I desperately need an outsider, an unknown face. My house is situated on the Prayer Square in Fairdark, opposite the temple. I know I can count on your help. May Avis be with you on your journey. Your old friend, Ardo. P.S. If I'm not there when you arrive, my caretaker will be able to tell you where to find me.
If we do encounter any problems, we'll just have to deal with them as they come up. Character selection. No idea what's good or bad. Are their stats different? No, so men and women are parity. Oh, it can be a dwarf. I didn't even know I could be a dwarf. I did. Oh, there's millions, so just keep going. Okay, let's start with the basics then. Shall I stick this in the LP or at the end? Normally I stick lore and stuff at the end of an LP after we've completed the main bit. But I think this is important enough to the game that I'll leave it in. So, warrior is an archetypal hero. highly respected by the common people and bound to follow a comprehensive code of honour. He completed his training at an academy, where he learned the arts of heavy weapons and armour, as well as how to dance at the royal court. So, out of character, I have no idea how to behave in the royal court, and I don't know, because I know nothing about the setting, I don't have any preconceived ideas of our character, so I'll probably go with someone clueless as possible. The archer is a ranged fighter trained in the army. He combats opponents from a distance with targeted, accurate shots. He is quick and nimble in his light armour, and his training also provides him with a basic knowledge of archery. I think we should probably avoid anything too clever. The soldier may not have enjoyed his long training at the War Academy, but he learned all about the tough life of a soldier in the Aventurian army. He is an expert with a two-handed sword and is feared by his enemies. The finer points of etiquette are a mystery to him, but he is skilled in finding his way around a strange city, so that might work. The Battle Mage completed his training at the Andergast Battle School, a practically oriented academy that specialises in training warrior wizards. He wreaks fiery devastation on his enemies, but he also knows how to defend himself with a staff. The Healing Mage completed his education in the Donnabach Academy, an elfish-influenced school that focuses on the healing arts. Healing mages are poor fighters, but compensate for this with their advanced skills in healing and boosting the powers of other members of the party. Now, at least when we start off, we won't have any other members of the party, because I made sure it would record. The Charlatan drops out of his training at a magic academy and does not possess the full repertoire of an Aventurian wizard. He is a master of trickery and illusion, with excellent dexterity and sleight of hand. He is charismatic and knows how to look after himself with an épée. The rogue grew up in the back alleys of the big city. He is an expert in urban survival and to fish out of water in the wilderness. Charismatic and skilled in the art of persuasion, he is an expert at judging a person's character and intentions quickly and accurately. His preferred weapon is the dagger. Doesn't sound very tough. The Horasian burglar is a self-declared master in the art of wealth redistribution. He steals because he loves the challenge and the danger. He has dedicated his life to cracking locks and outsmarting traps. His sharp senses and nose for danger are second to none. The pickpocket is proud of his fex-pleasing handiwork, so I'm guessing Fex is a god. Again, I know nothing about any of this. He is agile and skillful, relieving richer citizens of their heavy purses. He knows his way around the city and is skilled at setting traps, helping him to shake off pursuers and end up avoiding a prison cell. The Elementalist completed his training at the Pentagram Academy of Rashdal. He is a master of the elements and can summon powerful fiery companions from the elemental planes. I mean, that sounds quite useful, especially while we're on our own. Metamages specialise in manipulating magical matrices, making them some of the most powerful necromancers in Aventuria. Metamages prefer to stay in their laboratories, only leaving them if they think they might discover yet more powerful spells. Doesn't sound like a great lead character if he wants to spend his time in a laboratory. The Alchemist is a highly educated and versatile scholar of secret skills who travels the world in search of new recipes and hidden knowledge. Alchemists also know a little magic, they usually fight with clubs. And alchemy is unlikely to be helpful in combat. I know you can buff before combat, but I tend to forget to do all that stuff, so let's not be one of them. The pirate has decided to leave his ship and seek his fortune far from home. Tough and incredibly strong, he skillfully fights with Scragia and shield. He is also well versed in the use of throwing weapons. Etiquette is an alien concept to him, and he feels out of place in high society. But I think I can pull that off. Amazons are women who have dedicated their lives to the goddess Rondra. They consider discipline and obedience to be the highest virtues. Their minimal armour reflects their preference for speed and mobility. The Ranger is skilled in the arts of survival. Like all elves, he is born with magical powers. He is almost unbeatable with a bow and arrow. The Ranger avoids human settlements and their inhabitants. What the Ranger does not know about the wilderness is not worth knowing. I mean, we know we're headed to a city, and from the opening cutscene, the dragons are dead, it seems like the dwarves and the humans and the elves are all trying to have discontent sown between them. There's a sword that's used for killing something, possibly dwarves. The Spellweaver is the keeper of elven magic. He understands better than others how to use his magic to soothe wild animals and summon them from the depths of the forest. Like all elves, Spellweavers feel ill at ease in human company. So again, this kind of goes along with my gut instinct, which is elves, humans and dwarves don't have, great relationships. The elven fighter is primarily specialised in close combat. He is familiar with the bow, but it plays a secondary role. The elven word for fighter is Thara, after the deadly weapon they wield in battle. Like all elves, he feels uncomfortable in human company. I'm guessing I'm going to spend a lot of time in human company, maybe even 1/3, we'll assume 1/3. It's going to be a lot of time. The dwarven mercenary loves battle in a well-fitting mail shirt. The favoured weapons of these gruff fellows are simple axes and maces, together with a shield. He has experienced excellent martial training and is a fearless and fearsome fighter. The Sapper is an extremely versatile mercenary. He is familiar with axes and maces and knows how to forge all kinds of useful items. He usually wears a long leather apron over his chainmail, like a second skin. The Prospector is a well-trained fighter with a keen sense for the hunt and for rare plants. He is at home in the wilderness and knows how to defend himself with a crossbow and an axe. He fears neither death nor ghosts and often seems rather whimsical to humans. So he must get on alright with humans, even if they kind of make a bit of fun of him. And we're back round. I think I'm going to take a pirate. I reckon I can pull that off. Although I don't know how these work exactly, I'm sure I'll get the hang of it. If not, I'll buy the rulebook and read it. The character sheet displays all the game-relevant values for a character. On the left-hand side of the sheet, you will find the basic values. In the right-hand section, you can switch between 6 tabs at the top to show the view's inventory, talents, combat talents, special skills, spells, and recipe book. By clicking on the character portrait, you can switch between characters. In many cases, you will receive useful tips when you move your mouse over words and objects. Right-clicking often brings up a context menu containing further options. Oh, there's a lot of options. Talents reflect your character's personality and capabilities. Each character has what are known as basic talents. On the other hand, however, special talents must be learned, unless your character possesses them from the outset due to particular circumstances. So I guess that's like how you can use swim and jump untrained, but you can't use pickpocket, for example, untrained. Actually, you might be able to use sleight of hand untrained. Knowledge Arcana you couldn't use untrained. How well a character has mastered a particular talent is shown by its value. Talents are employed in many different game situations, enable you to receive extra information in dialogues, also to discover animals and plants in the wilderness. Pickpockets is useful when your purse is empty, and willpower helps you with any subsequent physical altercations. The success or failure of these actions is decided by talent tests. A test is always rolled for 3 attributes. The values involved in the test are highlighted when you mouse over them. Right-clicking the displays further information about the talent, so do you have to make 3 rolls every time you use a skill? Normally when I run games, I run 2nd edition D&D. I kind of rule it that if you're just doing something fairly normal, then you'll succeed. So if you're trained in swim and you want to swim across a still lake and you're not wearing any armour, I'd say yeah, you can do that. If and the harder you try to be, if you try to swim across a really fast river in full plate mail, then you'll have to make a roll and you'll have penalties accordingly. It sounds from that like you have to make 3 rolls each skill check in this system. I'm sure we can work out an inventory. The combat talents reflect how well a character can fight. There are various types of weapons, in which each character has his or her own talent prowess. In the explanations for each weapon, you will find the talent prowess for each one. In contrast to normal talents, no talent tests are performed for combat talents. The talent prowess for melee skill is divided into base attack values and base parry values, while that for ranged combat is applied entirely to the base range value. You can, within certain parameters, decide yourself how to apportion it. The values determined this way result in the character's final attack and defense values during combat, on which every character rolls an attack test. Sounds like there's a lot of rolling in this system. So I guess this is to choose how aggressive you are. So you can either go all out on attack, or you can be all out on defense, or somewhere in between. Brawling, we want to be all attack. No, we don't. Oh, this is changing these as well. There's a lot of interplay in this system. Should we try and be fairly balanced? For now. Oh, help, what have I done? So I've got... so it's automatically filled these out for me, is it? Right, I see. So I can't lower my skills any more than I've already got. Special skills are special moves and behaviours that are used in combat. Divided into melee and ranged and passive. Let's go for passive if we can. Once you've acquired them, they are permanent positive effects. Melee and ranged combat, the skills must be explicitly applied. Doing so uses up endurance points. So I've already got Mighty Blow, I think. And I have to choose which weapons I want. Okay. I've no idea what damage does what. Seeing as I'm a pirate, why not go for sabres? It makes sense. I don't have any spells. Hopefully it'll come up with that tutorial again when I have a spell character and a recipe book. Hopefully I can bring those back again. So where are passive? Oh, so these are passive, are they? The defensive. Here we can go sabre and shield, that would make sense. I'm good at throwing. There are quite a lot of XPs left. I think we'll probably avoid brawling. I think we'll just go straight for swords and I'll save some XP there. We'll take throwing weapons. An offensive combat just sounds outright useful, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing there. We'll take vitality. I'm guessing ether is magic and we don't have any magic. I think that's all our abilities spent. Welcome to the world of Aventuria. You will meet many people on your travels who will ask you to do favours of various sizes for them. The life of a hero involves gradually collecting a great number of tasks and a large amount of information. In order to keep track of all these things, you will carry a quest book with you, in which all instructions are logged for you to read again at any time. New information acquired from conversations or from completing a task causes the entries in the quest book to be modified. These changes are indicated by the book symbol which lights up. Yep. You will also receive messages informing you of new quests. So that's just a journal. We can cope with that. And I'm Swarthbold Hajorfson.
Hold on. I have to exchange a few words with you.
Yeah, conversations work as to be expected. Sorry, is there a problem? I've travelled a long way. I hope to reach the city of Thurdok before sunset. We have so many problems here that I didn't know where to start. First, the reinforcements didn't turn up, and now Thurdok has been sealed off. And all the while, there's a pack of bloodthirsty murderers roaming the countryside. I'd like to know what's really going on. At the moment, only dignitaries and travellers of good repute are given a pass to the city. Well, be that as it may, I've urgent business in Thurdok. Is this invitation from Viscount Borstock sufficient? Viscount is a respectable man, but you won't get past Inspector Nandor without 2 attesters willing to vouch for your good character. Nandor is the customs inspector. He alone decides who can enter the city of Thurdok at this time. I guess that's fair enough, but can I ask a few questions, please? Of course, go ahead. Do you know anyone who could testify to my good character? Perhaps. An old codger came past here just the other day. Brimborium or Randorium or something like that. He had 2 young fellows with him, one dumber than the other. They did seem to be respectable folks, and the old man sounded ever so important when he spoke, so perhaps he can help you. I wonder how I convince him to help me. Where can I find him? Well, he had this document with him, something about the Duke of Gareth or some other bigwig. He was headed for the Jagged Blade. That's the local inn. You should be able to find him there if he hasn't continued on his way. Also, my push to talk button seems to interrupt that. Not terrible, but I'll move it to something else. Is there anything else I should know? Yeah, there is one thing. If you want to earn some money, you can help us put down these murderous scoundrels. Nandor has put up a reward of 2 silver thalers for each of these rogues. All you need to do is bring him their badges. I need more information about that then. Oh, what should I say? There have always been plenty of tramps in the dark forest, but these fellows are different. They don't just take people's money, they cut their victims' throats and leave them for dead. These fellows are as bloodthirsty as they come. If I had enough men, we'd soon take care of them. But without reinforcements, there's nothing we can do. Alright, thank you, Sergeant. Now, how do I save? That was a bit weird. Hello, Guardsman Capcom. The farmers say that a 2-headed calf was born hereabouts at the last full moon. I tell you, nothing can surprise me anymore. Plant lore. Along the wayside grow beneficial plants and herbs. These will be useful to you on your travels. If you have a high talent prowess and survival, the places close by where such plants can be found will be marked on the location map at the top left. In order to harvest plants, you can either travel specifically to the highlighted areas, or simply trust your luck and keep your eyes open while you travel through the wilderness. Once you've found a herb, you can right-click on it to collect it. You will only be able to do this successfully, however, if you have the plant lore talent for which a test is rolled. If the talent test is successful, a loot window will open in which you can collect the plant components. If it is unsuccessful, however, the plant will be destroyed. So where's this then? Is there a highlight button for me? Red means no entry into the boulder, can't argue with that. Is it because I don't have any plant lore? Ah, saber. Look. An ordinary wooden barrel which is usually stored for storing liquids. But it could bear other treasures. Nice. 4 arrows. Oh, why haven't I equipped all my weapons then? Oh dear. That doesn't look like a saber at all. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Quest bag. All the important objects of your characters placed into the quest bag. That's quite useful actually. Once the quest has been completed, the item is automatically removed again. Ah, that's good. So it does stop you to throwing away useful, important items. There was a very sinister looking man at Mountback Show yesterday. There was something strange about the way he stared at her. It sent shivers down my spine. I don't believe it. We must be on our way. You are good for nothing. Things have been amiss in the Empire for years now. In the days of good old Emperor Hal, may Bourne rest his soul, Kosh was a quiet and peaceful place. Scouts have reported sighting large numbers of orcs in the Kosh Mountains in the last month. Perhaps they have raided Furdok. I don't know how long this has been. There's a lot of reading coming up here. There's another barrel to smash. I think I might turn left and right to look left and right rather than strafe. It depends how combat goes, I guess. You know what, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to edit the video to make sure it's coming out alright. I'll see you in the next episode of Drakensang.